But we have to prove nothing. There's nothing that we need to hold ourselves to, because, well, we're amazing. We're amazing. We are really amazing. And I've discovered in my life that fear has been my greatest obstacle in experiencing everything that I feel called to experience, everything that I love. I've been afraid to jump. I think a lot of us are. But the moment I just jumped, it was interesting because I began to fly. And now that I've seen that I can fly, why would I ever be afraid to jump again? I've discovered that fear is the greatest obstacle in the spiritual awakening path, in all of life, to be honest. And what I've begun to feel fear as, for me, maybe it manifests a little bit differently for you, but I'd like to share, because I think that this energy has the power to truly center us in the incredibleness that we really are and emanate that to reality for the rest of our lives, never forgetting, never choosing fear again. Fear keeps us in a state of, we're afraid because we don't know what will happen if we take that step forward. We're afraid that if we choose to actually do what feels right within us, that's source, that's God, that's what feels right. If we choose to be in alignment with that expansion, we would experience nothing but it and the purity of it. Another way of putting it, standing at the top of a cliff and seeing this incredible valley in front of me, that is everything that feels right to me, everything that resonates. And I'm standing right there, and it's right there. I can feel it. I can see it. I can taste it. It's in my hands. But yet I'm still just looking. I'm afraid to jump because what if I just hit the bottom and splat? What if that's what happens? But I've discovered that when you jump, you fly. That there's no ground to hit. There's only more expansion that takes place. There is no end. There's nothing to fear. And so for me, I've identified that fear in my life looks like being stagnant, not allowing change, not allowing that inner being within me that radiates this expansion, where something new calls me and sings to me and it lights me up with passion in my heart. And I say, I don't know if that'll work out if I move towards that, so I'm going to force myself to stay here in what I do know and what is comfortable to me. You see what I'm saying? But the path of being one with who you are, people have different words for this. It doesn't matter. I think you know what I'm saying. The path of being one with who you are, it looks like walking forward with your eyes closed and knowing that every step will be perfect and that you'll always be exactly where you're meant to be and nothing will trip you, nothing will fault you. There is no failure. Moving forward with your eyes closed in the dark, not needing a flashlight, not needing to know what's around the next corner, because there's this powerful certainty that what's around the corner is just more of you. That you are actually the light that shines. And so you don't need to find a light. You are the light. You are the light that illuminates. You are the light that expands. So you don't need to find a flashlight. You don't need to know what happens next. You don't have to choose fear to move forward in your life and go with the expansion that is calling you. You don't have to know. Because you know with absolute certainty that the only thing that you're going to find on the other side of fear is just more of you. And you're amazing. So what is fear anyways? It's literally nothing. There's no such thing as fear at all. It doesn't exist. We're just hallucinating it. Because every time we move forward in alignment with who we are, only more incredible things happen. It's only when we restrict that expansion, when we choose fear and we don't allow that expansion to take place, that we experience negative manifestations. This is the only time. is because we're not in alignment with who we are. We aren't allowing that expansion. We aren't allowing that flow. We aren't allowing that power to emanate from within us. And like we said earlier, touch all the areas of your lives and everything that has anything to do with you. It's interesting because for me, I've discovered I'm source, right? I feel it. And I know it with absolute certainty. And it's like source is a never-ending rain that's constantly falling. And I'm always being wetted by it, right? Wow, look at the light lighting up on the valley out there. That is incredible. In actual physical reality for me, that is beautiful. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is incredibleness is raining from the sky onto you. Always. You don't have to do a rain dance for it to come. It's already happening unconditionally all the time. But we have chosen fear, and that's akin to opening an umbrella, holding the umbrella over you so that you can't get wet, and wondering why the hell you're dry. It's because you're holding an umbrella open. That umbrella is us restricting the flow that is already happening for us. So we don't need to create the rain that is our expansion. We don't need to create the light and love in our lives. It's already here. It's who we are. It's constantly coming to us. That expansion is always happening. So all we really have to do is realize that we've been holding open an umbrella, and all we have to do is just close it and put it down, and you will be bathed in bliss. And sometimes because of habit, because of momentum, you may find yourself opening that umbrella because maybe something triggers you or activates that fear. Maybe somebody says something that kind of upsets you, and so you put your umbrella out. Oh God, something bad might happen. Fear, and then you're wondering, oh God, I was right to be afraid because look, I'm dry again. Where's the flow? And so you keep holding it even more. You see what I mean? It's like the greatest obstacle in our lives is fear. It's that simple. And what is fear? It's literally nothing. There's literally nothing to fear. Everything is perfect. Even all the little imperfect things and challenges and pain that exists out there in the world, because you are the nature of all that is. Abundance is the fundamental law of existence. There doesn't need to be any lack. There doesn't need to be any suffering. All we all need to do is just close our umbrellas and let who we are rain from the sky onto us. Really, everything is perfect. The only areas in our lives, in society, in the world that don't seem perfect, you can see that there are giant umbrellas being put up in those places. Lots of fear, lots of creation from the energetic place of fear. But when you create from the place of love and unity with who you are, and you are in your flow and you are allowing who you are to shine through and radiate, and God, you're so beautiful. You are so, so beautiful. And you know, it sounds weird. I'm literally just holding my phone looking in a camera, but I feel you sitting there. I feel you. I can literally feel you, and I see you, and you are so beautiful. And that's all. That's all you are. Just total beauty, total perfection. And it looks to me like you don't really need to be afraid anymore. That you can take that step forward in your life that you may have been feeling inhibited about. Maybe there's an area of your life, if you've resonated and attracted this fear in your life, maybe there's something that's been kind of singing to you in your heart lately. Maybe there's some kind of step in some area of your life that has been calling you, but you haven't been letting that happen. You haven't been letting yourself move forward into that because of fear. Really, when you are honest about it with yourself, it's only ever because of fear that we don't allow ourselves to be who we are. And I just wanted to let you know today that you don't have to be afraid anymore. You take that step forward, all you're going to be walking into is more of who you are. And that is a really big gift, because the more you become who you are, and you're in that process of becoming, and you're in that process of being, and you're in that process of allowing, suddenly your faith starts to grow, your trust starts to grow, your knowing starts to grow, and you're in what I refer to as a state of certainty, where everything you do has such power to it, because all of your energy, all of your focus, all of your attention, and all of your vibration from within is in alignment with you. You are in alignment with yourself. And so you are an unstoppable force. No matter what situation you're in, know in this moment, take a step forward. You'll see for yourself how incredible you are. And you'll see reflected back to you that you will be supported by the universe. You will be supported by the universe. And then once you see that, you'll try more and more. You'll stop just dipping your toes in the water, but you'll start submerging yourself in it. And all you'll find is more ecstasy and more incredibleness and more success, more joy and more presence and power and certainty, you know? And at that point, you don't need to consider fear anymore. And when it pops up, it's kind of fun. It's like a child poking at you, making farting noises, and you're like, okay. I can only speak for myself. I really can only speak for myself. And the truth is that for me, within myself, I just realized something. I don't need to say it. You already know. You will be okay. And it's okay if you feel fear. You're an eternal being. You exist indefinitely, forever, in an infinite amount of ways. So take your time. There's no rush. But maybe take one step forward and see what happens. Maybe take one step forward today, tomorrow. Maybe each day of this week, take a new step forward. And by the end of the week, you'll find yourself in absolute bliss. Doesn't take long to be yourself, because you're already here, raining from the sky. It's always happening. It's always here for each of us. Thanks. Much love. Show you guys the view.